Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's nice to see you again, students of ADM 650. Topic that we're going to have today is chapter 3, entitled Analysis of the Internal Environment, or it is called Internal Analysis. There are 5 learning objectives from this topic. Number 1 is that at the end of the sessions, you will be able to learn that the internal environment is also important to know in shaping strategy. And then you will also understand the resources, capabilities, and core competencies are foundations of competitive advantage. And then in building core competencies, there are tools that you need to know. The tools that will be provided in these lessons are criteria for sustainable competitive advantage and value chain analysis. And next is outsourcing. Okay, outsourcing, you will know how product services or any value change activity in the company can be supported by external supplier. This process is called outsourcing. Okay, and the last one is that you will learn the strategic of the making decisions by identifying the strength and weaknesses in a mathematics or statistical approach. Okay, next is for purpose of context setting, I would like to bring your attention regarding pharmaceutical industry in the world. Okay, pharmaceutical industry not only in the world but in Malaysia, we now looking at the a drastic development of core competency in big data analysis or BDA. Okay, pharmaceutical companies realize that they need to develop their core competency in analyzing the big data that they are facing. Okay, because they realize that this big data analysis will able them to create a value in 6 areas. One is to help them to discover and develop drugs at an accelerated pace. They can also utilize more and improve efficacy of their clinical trial. They can identify specific patient populations more effectively. They can get the insights of their patients' behavior so that they can improve their drugs delivery effectively and also improve the outcomes of their healthcare. Okay, and then from the big data analysis also can help them to improve their safety and risk management, as well as they can strategize in their marketing and improve their sales performance. Okay, how they develop the core competency in big data analysis is that they need to utilize technological resources. Therefore, they have invested in artificial intelligence. Okay, from there they help their people, the workers, to develop the BDA capabilities, so that they can undergo the process of analysis, such as uncover the hidden pattern, and then do the correlation analysis and found out useful information for various sources for purpose of making better decision, which all this while had been handled traditionally through the human mind process. Okay, so what I want to highlight is that this is an example of the internal assessment that been highlighted in the big pharmaceutical companies, how they are leveraging their internal resources and capabilities in order to develop the core competencies. So, the introductions. So we're talking about these internal factors. So you need to assess, the firm's internal assessment. Okay, what is internal assessment here? Is the analysis of information obtained from within the organizations, as compared to external assessment. You have to assess or get the factor from outside the organizations. So what do you want to focus the internal factor here? You need to check your internal factors in terms of their strength and weakness, and of course you need to identify uh, and give emphasize more on their strength. Yeah, so the area of strength that they need to focus is to find distinctive competency. Yeah, because this distinctive competency later on will help the organizations to build up the competitive advantage, will build up their ability to compete, berdaya saing. So because they know that competitive advantage will make the firm to create super value and of course give a superior profits for the firm. So the key things here is competitive advantage. How do we know whether the firm or organizations uh, competitive advantage exists? Again, exists. So we know that the existence of the competitive advantage if the firm able to provide the same benefits as competitor but at a lower cost, or the benefits could be better than their competitor company. So the benefits that is better, or rather unique, this is called differentiation advantage. In terms of lowering cost, this is called cost advantage. Okay, so therefore one can see that competitive advantage can be created if we focus on resources and capabilities, uh, which can be achieved by lowering the cost structure or make the product unique. So the choice of low cost or differentiations, that will position the firm in the industry. So this is what you call it as the competitive strategy that need to be taken by the firm. So internal analysis has its framework, to show a roadmap to competitive advantage and strategic competitiveness. Okay, the framework here contain components like resources, capabilities, core competencies. Yeah? And the framework shows that the firm need to identify the core competencies first. Yeah, core competencies, and there are methods of how to do it. Okay, then once they identify the main strength, and they will use it in order to make the company have the advantage to compete. Okay, so this will become the strategic planning of the organization. One can use this framework when you want to do strategic planning. So next, I guess you are now ready to see how important is internal environment in shaping the organization strategy. Okay, the importance of internal environment based on the understanding of these three factors. One is that regarding sustainability of competitive advantage. Okay, it seems that organization competitive advantage actually does not belongs to the organization forever and ever. Okay, because the organization, the competitive advantage or product or services has its limited lifespan. Okay, this is because of the issue of potential duplication. Okay, duplications by others in terms of companies or firms' strategy and also their competitive advantage. Okay, so duplications here, limited lifespan here derive from obsolescence of the product, obsolescence of the capabilities, obsolescence because of the technology, and then it could be because there is a substitute to the core competency. There is a substitute to the process. There is a substitute to the knowledge. There is a substitute to the product. Okay, and then another one is the imitability of the core competency. A core competency can be imitated. For instance, the creations of the creation of um, your clothes, even food, can be imitated by other country, such as China, who's very good in this uh, doing imitate imitated products. Okay, and then second thing is the global mindset. Okay, an entrepreneur who has this global mindset may realize that the power of internet, internet, and also the changes in the global economy. Okay, so from there, they would like to recognize also their own internal resources and capabilities in the firm, okay, that can also understand and respond to competitive situations. Okay. For instance, they may have a person who is good in the internet, and then with the power of the internet, they can also try to penetrate or conquer the situations of the global economy, by perhaps creating associate or network with the overseas. So this is at the end the same thing. The entrepreneur may want to understand the competitors' internal capability and resources that makes the firm or entrepreneur of this firm evaluate or examine the the external firms' entire portfolio or resources and capabilities. Because they with the global mindset, they might want to see the same industry, to do the benchmark of in the same industry, so that they can identify what are critical success factors that influence the success of the company in terms of the internal factor. The third one is creating value. Okay, so it is important to firm up the internet environment, because of the shifting of customer demand. So here, the firms have to create value for the customer by innovatively bundling and leverage their internal resources and form their capabilities and core competencies. Okay, so now we are going into another sections. This is called resources, capabilities, and core competencies. Okay, there are three things that you need to know as part of the framework of internal assessments that leading towards the competitive advantage and strategic competitiveness. There are resources, capability, and core competencies. So, what is resources? Resources basically is input, input into the firm. Production process, such as you have capital, and then you have equipment, you have skills from the human resource side, and then you have these matters involving patents, or brand, and then reputations. You also have things like finance and talented managers. So resources can be divided into two, tangible resources and intangible resources. Resources are regarded as asset. Okay, so tangible resources are those that can be observed and quantified. Okay, financial, organizational resources, physical resources. Example, physical resources, plant and equipment. Okay, and technology resources, including the intellectual property, the license and all that. Intangible resources. Intangible resources. The word intangible means something which is cannot be seen, but it comes through experience over the time. Okay, which is involved uh, in the human resource, such as things like their knowledge, their trustness, their management capabilities, and the routines involved in the organizations, and also in terms of innovation ideas, and then also in terms of reputation, reputation with their customers, their brand, suppliers, and so on and so forth. Therefore, intangible resources is considered as something which is rooted deeply in the firms over a period of time. This is called history, and is accumulated, and therefore that's the reason why it could be difficult for competitors to analyze and imitate. Yeah. So here, Harley Davidson's, how do we relate to the resources? Yeah. So in terms of the uh, in terms of tangible and intangible resources. The brand name can be the example. Motor Harley Davidson shows us the quality and the people, and they have financially strong too. Yeah, so can be examples of the resources. Okay, now what is capabilities? Capabilities is defined as a set of resources to perform a task or an activity in an integrative manner. Okay, example you can see is the perform a task in the area of distribution. So the capabilities is logistic management techniques, and then in terms of functional of human resource. So the capability is the motivation, empowerment, retaining employees. Another example is the functional area, things like management information system. Okay, so in terms of technology itself, that one is that could be resources, but here the managing the information system, control of inventories of that is capabilities. And you have others like in marketing, management, manufacturing, and R&D. Okay. So here the example of pizza, it's a company called Chick. What is their capabilities? The capabilities of delivering pizza, it could be distribution channel, it could be the marketing side, is that they probably have a good capabilities. Okay, and then the third components is that what is core competencies? Yeah, core competencies defined as capabilities that serve as a source of competitive advantage, yeah, by a firm over its rivals. Okay, core competency would distinguish a company competitively, and this reflects personality. For instance, Apple. So, what is the core competency of Apple? Core competency of Apple, in my opinion, is their innovation. Yeah? Innovation in the information system, software, computer. They are very innovative, and also their solutions. Also, they are able to link to the other apps or devices, and even film movie, yeah, animations and all that. They are very creative. Okay. All right. Next is yeah, we should take a break for few minutes. Yeah, not necessarily 5 minutes, but we just take a break so that you won't feel bored. Okay, I'll give you some music. Saat ku menentukan dirimu, jiwamu takkan ku dapat. Gerhana seluruh pancainkan. Hilang dalam memori cinta, membakar seluruh jiwa raga. Hanya kau untukku, kau tiada dua. Bagaikan siang tiada mentari, bagai malam tiada cahaya purnama. Tanpa tiada di hidupmu dua, kelahi masakah ku cinta. Bagaikan surga tanpa bidadari, oh ibarat hembusan napas terakhir. Tenanglah sayang, usahkah berpaling di sini, pasrah menanti. Okay. Okay, I hope you enjoy the music. Thank you very much. So now we will continue our lesson. Okay. All right now. So we are now looking into these sub-sessions of chapter 3, which is called building core competency. Okay, in order to build core competency, you need to learn the two tools. Yeah, two tools here. This is called criteria for sustainable competitive advantage. Okay. Uh, which you can see from the component or internal analysis framework that lead to competitive and strategic competitiveness, which is highlighted here, down there. Okay, right. And then second tool is value chain analysis. Yeah, which is here. Okay, so what are the criteria? There are 4 criteria of sustainable competitive advantage. Number 1 is the valuable capabilities. Okay, what is valuable capabilities? It is a capability that allow the firm to exploit opportunities and help a firm neutralize the threats. Okay, one good example about valuable capabilities is the capabilities that the government of Malaysia has in combating COVID-19. Okay, while the rest of other countries, I'm talking like Indonesia, US, Italy, they are they are fighting and trying to reduce their top ranking positions uh, uh, in terms of combating this COVID-19. It seems that Malaysia, I'm proudly say Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah, ya, bukan nak membangga, membesar-besarkan diri, tetapi sesuatu yang perlu kita bangga dan bersyukur is that Malaysia able to handle it well, ya, because we have capabilities from uh, our frontliners, di health health sector, yeah, hospitals and all that, and also we have the experts from Majlis Keselamatan Negara and our Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, and also a good leadership from the Prime Minister himself, yeah, and also referring to the whole cabinet. So this is a valuable capabilities, that we will exploit the neutralize all the potential threats regarding this COVID-19, which is beyond the control, and then we also exploit the turn around the threats into opportunities through the to try to overcome the economic situations by making a strategy focusing on the economic plan to improve the economic of the by investing to the B40 and the middle income earners, so that the internal economic activity can be recycled within the organizations. Is no point for organizations to exports, because currently the rest of other countries also having problems. They may not entertain our exports, and the B40 and the middle income will focus the micro economy, and at least our exchange rate can be controlled, and this is how Malaysia exploit the or turn around the threats into becoming opportunities for us. Okay, so the second criteria is rare capabilities. The word rare means capabilities that few possessed by other competitors. Example I can see is the rare capabilities is like Piramli and Arwah Sudiman. Arwah Sudiman, our legend singer, okay, and actors. And then rare capabilities like Bill Gates, Bill Gates, or maybe in terms of sports, what's the name of that lady who is good in playing squash? That could be an example of these rare capabilities. And then costly to imitate capabilities. Here, capabilities that other firms cannot easily develop. It's costly to imitate because one is the history, the event over time, because of the organization's culture, that makes the organization itself become the brand, so it's difficult to for other organizations to copy or to copy or take over, so for instance, like what is the best example of this? For instance, is the uh, For instance, is cyber security Malaysia who do the forensics analysis. Yeah, it has the culture inside there whereby it's oh no, sorry, that is not the best example. What is the unique and valuable organization or brand name that is best here costly to imitate capabilities? um, Perhaps maybe Malaysia Airline system. Although you have AirAsia, AirAsia another second airline, yeah, but it is costly, yeah, to imitate the capabilities given by MAS, uh, because of the unique personal touch that is given, uh, provided by MAS, and compared with the AirAsia, yeah, AirAsia and other airline, yeah. And then in Malaysia, okay. And then another thing that why is costly to imitate capability because of the ambiguous cost, yeah. The cost and uses of a competence are unclear, it's very difficult for them to copy or take over because they don't know how to start it. They don't know how to study and how that happened. Okay, and then another one is social complexity. Is the interpersonal relationship, trust, and friendship among managers, supplier, and customer. So it's costly to imitate because of the switching costs is very expensive, because of switching costs. Okay, another one is the okay, example of costly to imitate capabilities is that also maybe because the working together of the various departments, from finance, human resource, R&D, so how they work together in harmony, so it's very difficult for others to imitate their capabilities. For instance, last time uh, uh, there were a potential takeover of Institute Jantung Negara by Sandabi. Sandabi wanted to take over Institute Jantung Negara, but it was not successful. Initially, I heard that Sandabi only interested to take IJN because they want the experts inside there. Yeah, and the experts are very expensive and very difficult to get the experts, but in the end it did not happen because uh, Saindabi cannot make Saindabi hospital like AJN, or simply by taking the IJN doctors and put it into Saindabi, it doesn't work because it is the culture in the Institute Jantung Negara, okay, the social relationships inside there, and how the various department in the IJN that make it difficult for others to imitate their capabilities. Okay, next one in non-substitute capabilities. Here is capabilities that do not have strategic equivalence. I don't have an example of this. Okay, so how do you, with that knowledge, how does that tool help you to determine uh, uh, what are component that can sustain your competitive advantage. So you need to lay down all those four criteria in one row, and then you match against, you check every each of the components and decide the consequences of in terms of competitiveness, yeah. And then you will relate to the performance implications, whether it is below average, average, or above average, yeah. So for instance, like number one, if you find your four criteria are no, okay, and then obviously the consequences is your company is at the disadvantage competitiveness, okay, and your performance is understood to be fall below the average return. So let's say the combinations or the criteria highlighted that there are at least 2 yes out of 4 criteria. So there could be a competitive parity involving with your company. So that could lead to your average return. Let's say from the 4 criteria, there are 3 with a yes. Then you're gonna said to be having a temporary competitive advantage that can also contribute to your having average return. So let's say if your organization having all 4 criteria considered yes, then you are saying we are saying that your firms have a sustainable competitive advantage that will guarantee their return above average. So the next tool is the value change analysis. So value change analysis need to do by the firm so that they are able to understand which part of the operations in the firm that can create value and which part of the operation that does not create value. So by understanding this issue, and then the firm can plan by knowing which area that gives that influence customer value, which will help the firm to earn above average return. Okay, above average return happen when the value that it creates is greater than the cost that incurred in order to create that value. Okay, what are the value that is concerned by the customer? One is there are about 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 values and divided into 8 areas. One is the follow-up services. For instance, can we highlight this? Okay, now. Okay, follow-up services. What is follow-up services here? Follow-up services are concerned about the customer satisfaction. What actually made the customer satisfied in terms of feedback, feedback, support, technical support, and then whether the firm or organization comply with the product warranty, and then operations. Operations here is in terms of efficiency in changing raw materials into finished product. There is efficient, and then marketing including sales, so that you can focus customer on their unique needs, satisfy their needs, how to retain customer. Then the activities that involve things like advertising, brands, training, supporting sales force, and so on and so forth. And then customer value also can be garnered through activity relating to distribution. Distribution, how efficient the firm handle customer orders, deliver the product and services, how is the finance support, and so on and so forth. Another one is supply chain management, supply chain involving procurement, logistic, and so on and so forth. And then customer also concerned about the finance. Okay, uh, uh, finance in terms of management of financial, how the organization function support the firm's effort to produce and distribute its product in the short and long term, managing relationship with those providing financial capital to the firm. Example of activities. Another one, human resource activities associated with managing human capital, selections, training, compensations, and so on and so forth. And another one is things value chain analysis is the in terms of MIS, management information system. Here you are concerned with managing information, obtain and manage information and knowledge throughout the firm. Okay, and then you perhaps would like to explore what technologies they use. Technologies can be system, can be process, in order to come out, in order to get the information from various sources, and can convert that information to something more meaningful for the organization to make a better decisions. Okay, next one is subtopic on outsourcing. Okay, so what is what concern with outsourcing? Uh, Outsourcing is concerned with how components, a finished product or services will be obtained. So the firm is using outsourcing in order to purchase a value creating activity from outsiders, from an external supplier. So the external supplier become a support function towards the activity creating the activity which is valuable to the organizations. Okay, the benefits of outsourcing. Outsourcing supposed to be providing flexibility as compared to if you do if the internal people who conduct the work, it could be subject to uh, bureaucracy, policy, procedures, approval, and so on and so forth. So here is conducted by external people, so it's up to them to do it, and as long as they already got the tender, their procurement is already we already signed the agreement with them on their how much their fee payment and so on, and up to them to do it, and they supposed to deliver based on the terms of reference with the firm. And the second one, benefit of assessing, is that will mitigate the risk of failure of anything, because the organization usually outsource to the experts, to the best, so it is able to mitigate the risk. So however, there is one concern regarding this risk, is that some experts say that if you outsource, the possibility the firm can anticipate possible effect on their staff innovative in the future, as well as the impact of losing employment because they are not handling the job themselves. They keep on outsourcing. So, therefore, it is important to remember firm should only outsource in the area which they are lack of competence. They are lack competence. Do not outsource everything. So the third benefits of outsourcing is reduced capital investment, because the firm does not have to invest in the area which does not uh, happen to them, daily activity to them, which is not their core. They only want it as once a while. So this is the benefits of the outsourcing. So, the final one, we have come to the end. There is another tool or methods, how you can identify competency and check their strength and weaknesses in a statistical or mathematics for strategic management decisions. So, the method that we use is internal factor evaluations, IFE metrics. So, um, IFE metrics summarize and evaluates the major strengths and weaknesses in the functional area of business. Okay, so here involve a lot of intuitive judgment. Another word of um, sixth sense. Your knowledge about industry, your experience will tell you. Okay, that's why it's intuitive. The methods is similar. The process of steps is similar to external factor evaluation metrics and CPM, competitive price uh, 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 competing firm, metric is CPM. Okay, and then they are also involved 5 steps to develop IFE. So these are the 5 steps. Steps to develop IF20. First, you have to list down the internal factors in sequence as specific as possible. List the strength first, then followed by weaknesses. If you can list 20 factors is good, but out of 20, you shortlist uh, which one is more specific. Yeah, sometimes it could be duplications. You are putting things which you can group it under a same name. Yeah, so you need to check that. And then after that, that is the first column. The second column, you is called weight. Weight. Okay, weightage. So you need to assign each factor of the strength and weaknesses weight ranges from 0.0, the number that is not important, to 1.0, very important. Okay, let's say you have identified 20 strength and weaknesses, and you have assigned each weightage, and then you plus all your weight, and the total weight should not be more than 1. Okay, so how do you know that this factor is important, which one is not important? That is where you need to do research based on facts, and otherwise based on your intuitive judgment. Yeah. And then thirdly is that from the weight, you will assign a rating ranging from 4 to 1, 1 major weakness, 2 being a minor weakness, 3 minor strength, and 4 major strength. Then every each factor. So later on you will multiply weight times with rating, okay, to determine weighted average score. Okay, and then you will sum the weighted average score for each variable to determine the total weighted score. So the highest is the 4 and the lowest is 1. Average should be around 2.5. Yeah. So you can see this is the way, yeah, weight, rating, times, and all that. Yeah? And then the weighted score, you should be total up, and you see your numbers between 4 to 1. Yeah, okay, and your weight when you add all, it should not be more than 1. Yeah, and rating, you don't need to sum up them. Yeah, just a component that need to be multiplied with a weight in order to get weighted score. Okay, with that, thank you for watching, and please visit the second video on the vision and mission, because with that vision and mission, then your lesson on strategic formulation is complete, and you should be ready in your assignment uh, involving strategic formulation to be applied for the companies under the case study that you have chosen. Thank you. See you in the next video on vision and mission.